I get out of my vehicle, I pull my weapon, and I'm like, get down on the ground, put your hands behind your head.
Marshall in the middle.
Can you hear me?
Laura Parsons, everybody. Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm great. I'm great. I'm excited to talk to you. I've been excited all day.
Oh, that's awesome. Can you hear me okay?
I do. I hear you great. You look great. You sound great.
All right. I was wondering because I have a fan on behind me because it's like 9,000 degrees here in balmy Georgia. So,
Yeah.
and
So
it's
yeah,
about
you
to
sound
storm.
fine.
Okay, good.
You sound fine. Yeah. So where you guys are outside of Augusta, Georgia, right?
We are Grovetown.
A beautiful area, right?
Very beautiful, yes.
Now, your family is from there, right?
So not really. They just transplanted here. My mom was born and raised in Arizona, moved to California, then Illinois. So I was born and raised in Illinois before leaving home. So
Oh, cool. So what was it like growing up as a kid? Where did you move a lot of places or did you pretty stationary?
no, I was born in Woodstock, Illinois, and we lived in Marengo until I was about 8, and then we moved to Woodstock, and that's where I was until I graduated high school and left home. And growing up, lived out in the country. Um, Childhood was not the greatest. My parents divorced. If you want the cold hard truth or the honest side of my life, my dad was not the nicest person. And so when I turned 18, that's when I went into the military and left home. And I've been back to visit my brother since, but that's about the only reason I go back there.
Right, right. So you decided to kind of use the military as a form of escapism to get away from something, right?
That is correct. Yes,
Yeah, a lot of folks do that, right? It's kind of
it
an
is.
easy way.
It is, especially you if college was not in your cards at that moment in your life, which I wasn't a real big fan of school. I have an associate's degree and part of a bachelor's degree now, but that was something that happened later on in life.
Yeah. I was much the same way. I was like, school,
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, good for you. So tell me about so what year did you join the military?
In 1998, I went into the Air Force.
Oh wow. Okay, so tell me about that. Did you go to the recruiter and say like, "Hey, sign me up,"
Yes, hands down. And he's like, all right, we got you. He said, you qualify. It was a pretty easy process. And I went into, I decided to wait until after the summer so I could have my summer before I was put through boot camp. So I actually went in September of 98.
So Air Force boot camp. Where's that? At Lackland?
Lackland, yes, in San Antonio.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So what was that like? Standing up straight and marching and all that stuff.
It was actually, believe it or not, it was fun. It was definitely an experience that it'll be forever ingrained in my brain. Tell stories to my kids as they got older, and be able to tell my great grandkids or my grandkids once they have children. So yeah, it was fun, and it was a really awesome experience because I learned so much, not just about the military and the military way of life, but I also learned a lot about myself too. So
Yeah. So I mean that begs a question. Tell me one thing you learned about yourself in basic.
that I am a lot stronger than I thought I was. And
Amen to that.
I don't mean physically, I mean mentally.
Yeah, right. That's good. So how did that show itself?
Um, just through the perseverance of having to deal with your flight sergeants in your face and yelling at you, even though you didn't do anything wrong. And I mean, with the way that I grew up, I think I was already slightly mentally prepared for what I went through in basic training, but I didn't know that until I actually went through it. So like I was mentally, I was almost like I was mentally prepared already. But then when you actually experience it, you really don't know what it's going to be like until you're put through it. So
When- so it's funny. So when you've been through mental warfare that's been issued by an idiot, and then you go through mental warfare that's been issued by somebody that plans it,
Yeah.
many times you're like, "Oh shit, I've already done this before."
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Most definitely.
Well,
Only I'm getting paid for it this time.
yeah, right. Well, good for you. Good for
Hold
you.
on one
Well,
second.
yeah,
Can you hear me still?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, what was what was it like to get money? Had you had jobs before the military? I'm sure you had.
I did. Yeah, I worked a few jobs after school when I was in high school, and I was actually making more in those jobs than I was in the military. But your pay for basic training back in 1998 was just enough to, I guess. I mean, you really couldn't spend anything because you weren't allowed to leave. So it helped me save a little bit of money. So when I got out of basic and went to my first duty site, I was able to buy a used car. So
So, what was your job in the MPs? Or
I
I'm
was
sorry, in the Air Force? Were
I
you a
was
SP?
I was a security forces. I was actually the last flight in tech school. Stop it. I was the last flight in tech school to go through where they had security and law enforcement separated. So the class that graduated after me and every class since, now they're combined. So you learn law enforcement and security. Well, when I went through, my specialty was security. So I wanted the law enforcement side, but for whatever reason, I was stuck in security. So
Yeah, that's weird. I'd never understood that before. I
I
never
mean,
understood that before.
well, it was pretty cool. Like even though like I wanted to be a cop because I was always as a kid I was that curious one. You see a fire truck, I want to follow it and see what's going on. You see a cop car, I want to see what's going on. So that's why I wanted to become a cop. Well, being a cop in the military is completely different than being a civilian cop. So it was not what I expected, but it was still really cool because on the security side, even though my job was super boring, I would guard C-130s for 12 hours a day. Um, there was a few things that I was able to do that I never would have been able to do had I not been in the military, like guard Air Force One. So yeah,
Oh, that's cool. That's
yeah,
cool.
yep.
So tell me about like the physical stuff. Were you good at the you had to do PT and stuff in basic training and everything.
So that was actually pretty easy for me. I mean, there was definitely some times where my body was tested. And I think it was more because I was both mentally and physically exhausted because of lack of sleep and having to get up so early in the morning and then pushing it all day. So it was fun though. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to explain unless you've actually been in that position. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, looking back on it, it's fun. In the middle of it, it's fun too, but
Mm.
the cycle's so quick. It's like, oh crap, I got like 4 hours of sleep, and then I got to do this all over again.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, and I'm a real high strung person anyways. Anybody that knows me will tell you the same thing. So
Yep.
it's not you hear my husband in the background. Yep. So I am a runner, and I don't mean like I run like I because I hate running, but like from the time my feet hit the floor in the morning until the time I go to bed at night, boom, 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 I'm constantly going. So it wasn't really that big of a deal, or it wasn't that difficult for me. Um, but it was fun, and like all the different weapons that I got to fire, and I mean that's just stuff that you don't get to do unless you're in the military.
Yeah. So did you get to throw a grenade?
I did, yes, that was
No.
exciting. It was super scary, but it was super exciting at the same time.
So
Because like it's
tell
like
me about.
once you pull that pin, like you cannot let go, and when you go to throw, you better make sure you're throwing it far away enough to where which they had us in like a bunker or whatever, so we were protected. Like we had to throw it over the wall as far as we could before it exploded, so we were protected. But I mean, just getting to do that, and then um, I got to blow some other stuff up in tech school, got to shoot an anti-law rocket at like a 50 gallon drum barrel that I'm sure was filled with gasoline or something. What was that? Oh, and then in tech school, my I guess you can say job. I was the I carried the M60 machine gun, and it was funny because you got little old me carrying this huge gun, and the person that carried my ammo for me was a guy that was twice my size and twice my build. So it was funny to see us as partners because I'm the one with the gun and he's the one carrying the ammo. So
I love it. That's great though, right? I mean, but
oh yeah,
that's what it's about sometimes, right?
oh yeah,
Everybody gets paired up together, you pick up each other's slack, and you're toting the big hog, right?
oh yeah, oh yeah, yep,
Did you enjoy qualifying with the M60 machine gun? I mean,
I
that's a
did.
boom, 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 boom,
Oh
boom,
yeah,
boom,
it
boom.
was super fun. It was super fun to shoot. And then because I was security side, I had to be trained on the M16, and that's what we carried as patrolwomen, whatever you want to call it these days. Um, and I shot expert marksman with that. So, yep.
Hey, that ain't no joke, right? It ain't no joke. People are
Oh,
like, I'm an
yep.
expert, but if you've been through it and you've really shot on those ranges, you know, expert is no joke.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So,
Yeah, cool, cool. So, tell me about coming to your first duty station and stuff. Was that integration? Did that go well? Where were you stationed at?
I was actually stationed. My first and actually only duty station was Little Rock Air Force Base in Little Rock, Arkansas. Well, Jacksonville, Arkansas.
How'd that go?
It was pretty good. I didn't like my flight sergeant. He didn't like women, so naturally he picked on the women on his flight. He was one of those macho, like women shouldn't be in the military, blah blah blah. So the two women that were on his flight, we weren't treated like the guys were. Just put it that way. He was basically a sexist pig, to put it lightly.
Hey, so look, in that era, in that time,
Hmm.
that those individuals flourished, and honestly, they did, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. So, how did you deal with that? What did that look like for you?
I just ignored him.
Amen,
I
right?
mean, I took his orders because I had to. I was, you have to, but I just ignored him. And the girl and I, we stuck together. And in fact, actually, both of us ended up pregnant at the same time. So we were in the same boat about that too, because he was just like, "Oh God, they're pregnant. They're going to be whiny pregnant ladies." Blah blah blah. But nope, we persevered. We proved him wrong time and time again. And the guys that were on our flight, they stood up for us. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, look, teammates take care of each other, especially when a toxic leader's around. You
Yep.
know, it really is true over time. I've seen it. I've seen it. So tell me more about what. So in the Air Force, before you got pregnant and all this stuff, what would you do? Did y'all go practice your security? Sneak around in the woods or something?
We had what they call exercises. I'm sure you're familiar with that. So I never really got to be part of any real world situations until just before I got out, which is a super, super awesome story. I know we had talked before and Leo mentioned something, I'd tell you about it, but everything that I partaked in or partook in, whatever the word is, it was all exercise. So I didn't really get to experience, before I got out, I didn't really get to experience like a deployment or anything like that, which is fine. I mean, I got to experience deployment on the other side of being military when I got out. So
So tell me about this exciting story or something. I mean, you keep alluding to it. I want to hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear
so,
it.
okay, so um, at the time I was married to my ex-husband, my now ex-husband, and it was him and I had decided once we got married, we decided to start a family early. And so I was pregnant. So because we were both cops and we were both on the same deployment list, we decided it best that I get out. So I was given an honorable discharge so I could stay at home with our daughter. That way, if he ever got deployed, we wouldn't have to find, if had I stayed in, we would have had to find someone to watch our child for us for anywhere from 3 to 6 months or longer. So I was pregnant at the time, and it was one of the I think it was like the last month I was in, and I got to ride patrol as secondhand man to the flight sergeant. And at this time, I had a new flight sergeant, and he was my awesome supervisor. And so I pulled what they call Lima 2. And so I got to actually be a real cop, military cop. And I was headed up to the gate to relieve the gate guards so they could go get something to eat or go to the bathroom or whatever. And I get a call over the radio that from the desk sergeant that said, please be advised, how they say, all patrols, please be advised, there was just a vehicle that ran the front gate 1, and that's where I was headed. And they did the description of the vehicle, and as I was going up, I was like on the same road that the gate was on, the main road, and I actually saw the vehicle. So mind you, I'm 5 months pregnant, and now I'm leading a high-speed chase on a military installation. And when I say high speed, I mean, I think the base miles per hour were 35. These people were going like 65, 70 miles an hour. And so I'm following these people, and at the same time, I'm on my radio relaying to the desk, hey, this is where I'm at. Every turn I took, I was relaying where we were at. Well, they never made any turns. So if you go from gate 1 and you go, it's a straight shot down to the flight line, where it's also where our command post was. One of the most protected areas on base, because that's whatever. Well, so they were headed in that direction, and of course I'm relaying all this. Well, when you get closer to the flight line, the road goes downhill and your command center is on the left. Okay, well, because there's a hill behind the command center, there's a road right behind the command center. Well, I think they went to try to turn on that road, and they went over the embankment and almost crashed into the command post. So meanwhile, I'm driving down the hill to go into the parking lot. As they're getting out of the vehicle, I get out of my vehicle, I pull my weapon, and I'm like, get down on the ground, put your hands behind your head, blah, blah, blah. Well, it was 2 women. I had one of them handcuffed, and the other one I was zip tying by the time my flight sergeant finally caught up to me. And he got out of his truck. He said, damn, girl. He said, you did good. And so, yeah, so it was pretty cool. And like, so what happened was, and this is so stupid because they got so many charges. They actually stole 2 T-bone steaks from the Walmart right outside the gate. And they thought that they could elude Jacksonville police by coming onto a federal military installation. So not only did they get charges from eluding civilian cops and theft, they racked up charges for entering a federal installation unlawfully, running from federal installation police, and a bunch of other crap. So I was just like, for 2 steaks, I'm like, really? Come on, people. I mean, whatever. But I was 5 months pregnant with my daughter when all that happened, so she loves it when I tell that story. She's just like,
I bet.
Like, we did that together, Mom.
That's right. She got to ride along with her courageous mom.
Yep. So it was fun. It was cool. It's actually my favorite memory from when I was in the military.
Oh, yay. High speed chase, right? That's great.
Yeah. First time ever on patrol by myself.
Oh, wow. So what was your favorite weapon? I mean, you've already talked about the M60 machine gun. Was that your favorite?
No, I think the Law Rocket was actually my favorite because it's almost like a grenade launcher.
Yeah, right. It is. It's a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I shot a sub caliber one a couple of times, not the real one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to shoot the real one. Go boom.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So tell me about your patriotism. What about you? It's obvious that you're a huge patriot and a huge person of a great American spirit. But tell me how yours exudes itself. How does it come out?
I don't know. I don't stand for some of the stuff that's going on right now in America, if you know what I mean, like the people wanting to kneel when the national anthem is sung, or disrespecting the American flag, or you know, just pretty much that's. I mean, don't get me started on stuff like that, because if you live in if you don't want if you don't like this country, then you can move. Like, bye.
Uh, Well, right. So in a way, there's a certain amount of freedom with living in America, such that even you can move, you can leave.
Exactly, exactly.
And so I understand exactly what you're saying. Absolutely, absolutely. Tell me about your end of your army or your Air Force career. What did you do? What made you get out? It was well. Oh,
I
I think you already said you were having a little girl.
Yes, yep, yep. So I became a stay-at-home military wife, and so even though I wasn't in the military, I mean, military spouses, they play a huge role, and I think that I don't think the spouses get enough credit. In fact, I've heard people say, oh, just because you're a military spouse doesn't mean that you're in the military. No, and if you ask any spouse that, they will shut you down so fast, because especially if you're a mother, like, or just say stay-at-home spouse, because they're stay-at-home dads too. Like, if your spouse gets deployed, I mean, everything falls on you. Um, and then, of course, the move, you have to move, so you're uprooting your whole life to move to a different base, and moving in and of itself, just for a normal human being, is a huge feat. So to do it multiple times, like say every 3 years, uprooting your life, once your kids get school age, they make friends, and then they get sad because they have to leave and have to make new friends, and so it's stressful, and it's stressful as a mom to see your kids go through that. But I mean, it's a way of life that not everyone can handle.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Look, I think that our American armed services families make up the middle nucleus of our culture. If
Oh
you
yeah,
look to the Army, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, Navy, you look at that core family unit, and you're looking at a microcosm of all the good people in our country. You really are.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
So tell me what shapes your daily life? What keeps you going? Is there some spirit inside of you that causes you to go forth and create things? What do you like doing with your time? If you had nothing else that you had to do, what would you do?
So I am actually a stay-at-home wife and mom now, and my husband Leo,
Best husband ever.
best husband ever. Um, and I'm grateful to him for allowing me the opportunity, and he's doing so well in his career that it causes me to be able to stay home. And since I resigned my position for where I used to work, I have become a huge. Uh, I found a love for barbecuing. Yeah, Leo calls I'm addicted to it. He says I drank the Kool-Aid. So we own Rectex. The grills that we own are Rectex, and when I met him, like before I met him, I was the one who always did the grilling, the cooking, everything. So when I met him and I found out that he actually knew how to grill, I was like, hell yeah, because it was always me. The other guys and I really only with two guys my whole life before Leo, they had no interest in it. I was like, what guy doesn't like to barbecue? But so when I met him, I was like, thank God, that gives me a break every once in a while. Well, then we moved here to Georgia, And we bought our first RecTech grill after learning about them. And once I cooked on it, it was all downhill from there. I mean, it's you set it and forget it. If you're looking, you're not cooking. I mean, they're amazing. And it's not just the grills, it's the company behind the grills. Their customer service is like second to none. I mean, that's not even a good enough description of what their customer service is. So just between the grills itself and their customer service and the way they treat their people, we've become huge advocates of the RecTech Nation and smoking and grilling. And so I actually started an Instagram page, and I am kind of an influencer within the barbecue community on Instagram. So Dangerously Delicious Barbecue.
Oh, yay!
That's my logo.
Awesome.
So.
Oh, that's great. Well, good. Well, I will find a way to put the link in the description below.
Okay.
I see all the people say that. I've never said that before.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's awesome. I think that it's great that you found something that you really enjoy, and found some equipment that allows you to do that stuff. And of course, I love Leo. I think he's just a wonderful guy, and that you guys are able to do that together. That's just wonderful. Yay! Triple yay.
Yeah, we did we actually did our first whole hog for the 4th of July. So that was pretty cool. It was 80 pound? No, 38 pound hog. And it turned out amazing. Like, I have pictures on my Facebook and everything. I don't know if you
wow, that's great. Yeah, you just friended me on Facebook. So yeah, I'll have to go check that out. So what's next with all that stuff?
I don't know. Leo and I have talked. Huh? Yeah, Leo and I have talked about doing a nonprofit. Because we own every grill that RecTech sells except for the 700. It's also known as the Bull, for anyone watching this that knows anything about RecTech. And a while back, him and I talked about purchasing what their biggest grill is. It's called the BFG. And yes, it stands for what you think it does.
I immediately went there. I was like, yeah, I know what she's talking about.
The big family grill.
The big family grill. That F does not stand for family. But anyways, so we had talked a while back about purchasing it like closer to when Leo retires and starting a nonprofit and doing like big cooks for, say, like homeless, recovery churches, and pretty much anybody who needs food. We would do something like that. Well, a few months ago, probably about a few months ago, RecTech was having one of their, what they call their scratch and dent sales. And so we ended up with the BFG a lot sooner than we had planned. But we're glad that we got it, because there's a possibility, because they've already discontinued a couple items that we have, and I don't know if they're coming back. So who's to say they won't discontinue that one in 20 years when Leo is ready to retire? Then we missed out on that opportunity. So, and we got it for a hell of a lot cheaper than if you buy one. Yeah, $1,300 cheaper. Yeah, we got it for a $1,300 discount. So we're going to use our grills for the greater good of our community. And we've actually started, we've done a few things. So we're just starting out. So as time goes on, we'll do a lot more.
Well, good. It's fun to have hobbies together. It's fun to be able to give back. It's fun to be able to help others. So yay, all the way around. I'm excited for that. Yeah. So look, you got to tell me a couple more funny stories. I'm not sure exactly what to ask. I don't know. We could talk about Leo if you wanted to.
We could talk about Leo. What do you want to know about Leo that you don't already know?
No. That's not about that. No, we want to know about you. This is not about Leo. This is about Laura. So tell me, I don't know. Tell me about some funny, good times you had in the military, or tell me about your kids. There you go. Let's do that. Tell me about your kids.
So between Leo and I, we have 4 children together. I met him with 3 daughters, and he came to me with a son. So my oldest, or our oldest daughter is 21, and she's in college. She goes to college in Pensacola, and then so she's gonna be, well, she'll be 21 next week actually. And then our middle daughter is 16. She'll be 17 in November. Our youngest daughter's 14. She just turned 14, and then our son just turned 7. So
Yay!
yep.
And each one has different, unique personalities. So let's do this.
Yes.
So do this. Each person is an animal. What animal are they?
I'd say Caitlin. Caitlin is a cat. She would definitely be a cat. She's very laid back. She is affectionate when she wants to be affectionate. And she doesn't take shit from anybody. So she's a very strong young woman too. Treese, if I had to say Treese was an animal, probably a panda. Why a panda? He said a panda. I don't know. She's a penguin. Oh, okay, penguin. She's okay. So a penguin definitely. So yeah, she's very loving. She's very caring. She's very giving, and she's the type that will want to be like with someone for like life instead of bouncing around from guy to guy. But then also she's extremely clumsy. So I mean, and then Danny would probably, geez, huh? Yeah, dang. I would say probably a giraffe. Because giraffes are, oh yeah, like a Clydesdale horse. Leo couldn't have put it better himself. A trained one, not a untrained one. Because she's into fashion, and she's like, she's clumsy too. Not as clumsy as her sister, but she is also very graceful at the same time. She's gracefully clumsy. Does that make sense? I guess. Oh, and then Chevy. Oh, Chevy's still coming into his personality. So probably no. Oh, hell yeah. He's like the Tasmanian devil right now. He just died. Yes.
So, all right. So what's your animal?
My animal?
And what's Leo's animal?
I'm like a mama bear. I'm very protective over my children and my family. I'm kind of like, I'm not, no, Leo's a hyena. Yeah, you are laughing. He's always cracking jokes. I'm not.
You're not evil. You're so hyper.
No. I'm a mama bear.
What's the hyper dog?
The hyper dog? A dingo? A chihuahua? Leo. Okay, I'm a cross between a hyper chihuahua and a mama bear. But I don't know. Oh, greyhound? No, we'll go with the chihuahua. And then Leo, you're not a sloth. I would have to say Leo is. Oh, dang it. I don't know. He's a jokester. So, I mean, what animal would you put as a jokester?
I don't know. But that's good. Hey, good enough. Yay! That was awesome. Great answer. Hey, that's cool. That's close enough.
Yeah, he's a spider monkey.
Yeah, right. Probably so. Oh my gosh. So what do you what are y'all excited about? Other than Rec Tech Grills, what's going on in your life you guys excited about in the future?
Honestly, that's about it. Like when Leo's not working, we're taking Chevy on a Chevy. We're taking Chevy on a trip. Um, at the end of the month, we're going to Grey Wolf Lounge Lodge right outside of Atlanta. So we're doing that soon, and then we've been doing a lot of home modifications, mainly in our backyard. But we did do a remodel in our bathroom that we finally just finished. I think like last week, and then we've got some more things planned coming up.
That's great. That's great. Well, hey, if you were going to talk and give a message to your loved ones and those around you, and especially your kids and grandkids about your time serving your country and your patriotism, and you were to think about your time of giving, right? You signed up for it, but in a way you were sacrificing. You were saying you were going to sacrifice. Do you have a message that you might give those loved ones about your time in service?
I wouldn't really say about my time in service. I think just an overall life message. Always stay true to yourself. And definitely don't let others get under your skin. Because that was another thing growing up. I was bullied. And so I think a lot of how I am today, actually, I don't think I know, between having an abusive father and being bullied in school, like that makes me the person I am today. And we have a family motto, adapt and overcome. So, if you're ever put in a situation, there's always a way out of it. And then Leo and I actually have 2 Corinthians 10:13. Oh, sorry, 1 Corinthians 2:13. So that's kind of our family Bible passage too. But definitely, we all do unto others as we want done to ourselves. So like, if there's one thing that I could tell my grandchildren that we've instilled in our children already, it would definitely be those things.
Amen. Thanks for sharing.
And integrity. Yeah. Your integrity is very important. That would be something that I took from the military.
Right.
Always stay true to your integrity, because that is all you have. And once you break your own integrity, it's hard to keep someone's trust.
Amen to that, right? Amen. Amen. It's it's an interesting life that we decide to lead, and thank you so much for agreeing to serve our country. And we served alongside each other. I was in the military in 1998, so we were brothers and sisters in arms at the same time. Standing on the gap.
Service.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And it's an honorable thing, right? It is. It's an honorable thing to do what you did and to jump on board at a time when, look, 98 was not a popular time to join the military.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, but you did, and you were there. You were standing in the gap when others were left after 9/11, wondering what to do. You had done yours. You were there, and you had taken your turn at the wheel, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what I would love for you to do, what was your rank when you got out?
An A1C.
Airman First Class.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So what I was hoping maybe I could do is to call you to attention, and then you could salute and and then say your rank, and then sign out. To give us kind of your sign out. Can you do that?
I sure can.
All right, Airman, attention.
A1C at the time, Deserto. And what do you want me to say?
I love it. That's the best. All right. So listen. Here's what I want you to say. Here's what I want you to do. Okay.
I got it for you.
You got it. Okay.
All right.
Airman, attention.
A1C Thorpe at the time. Hit me up on Dangerously Delicious Barbecue. I hope to see you there on Instagram. Signing out.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Thank you. So that's cool. Oh, that's great. It's those times back when you're called to attention, when you're told to stand up straight, when it's time to go. Isn't it inspiring to get that call again, to remember that moment,
Yeah, we actually taught our son how to do it.
Oh, that's great. Good for you guys. Oh, Chevy, huh? I gotta follow Chevy a little closer. That's great. I'm proud of you guys. So, hey, you guys are big heroes of mine. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it. It's been a blast. Is there, anything else you'd like to tell me about before we sign off of here?
Not that I can think of.
Oh, it's been so wonderful. So tell me again about the barbecue again.
It's called Dangerously Delicious Barbecue, and you can either find me by that or by my name, Laura Parsons.
Yay. Okay. Sounds good.
on
Well, we'll
on
check it
on
out.
Instagram. I do have a Facebook too. When I post to Instagram, it automatically goes to Facebook. So I'm on both platforms, but I do more on Instagram than I do Facebook.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for your service. You're a hero. I know. Love you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.